Alright, what's going on today, guys? Alright, you're looking at the new Coleco Vision added to my collection. Now, my good friend Derek, his friend at work, I think it was the bartender at work or something, Ross, his dad, went ahead, he said about my collection, obviously, Derek talks about it a lot, and so Ross decided to donate some of his childhood video games to my collection, and he got this out of his father's attic, I believe, back at his house. And these are some middle 30 age guys, Ross is like 32, 33 or something. So while he was at his parents' house, he found these and figured maybe I'd want them, which I do. So luckily this hasn't been played since it was in its prime. This wasn't taken out in the 90s and used. This wasn't taken out in the 2000s. But as you can see, I got some other stuff with it, so let's get all the other crap out of the way. He had 2 extra Master System controllers. They're in alright shape. You can tell they've really been used. That thing's even missing this little plastic in the middle where you screw in the joystick. But cool, so I got 2 extra Master System controllers. I got an extra 3D glasses. This is awesome because mine's got a tear in the cord. The only thing wrong with these is they're missing an eyepiece. Well, if I wanted to, I could take an eyepiece off the ones with the tear in the cord and clean these up and have a nice new pair. So now I have full 3D glasses for the Master System that actually work. Here's that big ass power supply that you always hear about. Yes, I have big hands, and this is a big power supply. It's massive. I can barely hold it up like that. Coleco. Alright, so let's take a look at the system here. Everything's in really good condition. I went in there, I cleaned up everything nicely, and there's little dirts in the corners of everything, and you can still see a little dirt here and there, but I plan to get all that off. I tried to take it apart. Maybe some of you could tell me what the trick is after unscrewing all the screws to actually take apart the Coleco Vision. Do I need to remove this front cover here? Because it seems like it's holding on this front when I try to lift the case off. I'd like to lift it off so I can get thoroughly in some of these cracks. As you can see, there is some grime down in them. But everything else has gotten really cleaned. Cartridge slot looks really good. And everything in there is really good. And, like I said, both of these. Now these I don't know much about the ColecoVision, but I think these use the layovers too. Pop them in there. I don't know exactly how they work, but I know a lot of you guys, this is your favorite system, and I know a lot of especially people who grew up with this, they love this system. To me, it's a pretty badass system. Take a look at the front there, and there's a front expansion bay for different things, expansion module interface. That closes up. Coleco Vision video game system. Yeah, man, this thing, it looks in pretty good condition. I could polish that a little bit there, and it was controlling. And it looked like it's funny, these bigger, it's like an old telephone or something. Now, the only thing I do not have, maybe one of you can help me out with this, maybe do a trade, is the TV adapter. I need a cable for the TV. So if somebody has an extra one of these lying around they want to trade, that'd be awesome. Or just want to send me and I'll, find something for you. I'll send you a money order or something. I'm going to go down to Brian's at Game Trader and see if he's got an extra one sitting around. So if he doesn't, I might need one of you guys to help me out. We'll see what happens. Alright, that's the good part. Let's see these games. So first off, we got Zaxxon. I've got that on the Master System. This, like I said, this are all his games from childhood, so he did keep these in somewhat decent condition. Over the last 25 years, I'm sure they got burned up. But so that's Zaxxon. It's a really cool shoot 'em up. Here's a game called Carnival, and these carts they are like the early 80s to me. Like 81, 80, 81, 82, 83, like when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And to me, when I turned 5 or 6, this Nintendo came out. Nintendo was gray. It was a much lighter color. So to me, when I rank things color-wise in this world, it's like my whole past just seemed dark. You know what I mean? Like, it was black. I had yet to forge anything. And that's what these games remind me of. They're just you know, there's something I'd find in the back of somebody's basement in the early 80s because their dad didn't play the system anymore or something. And so they were those like discarded games from my memory. No one touched these things anymore. We all played Nintendo and stuff. So to me, you know, going back and seeing these things, they're like real relics to me. And they feel like antiques almost, even though they're only 30 years old. So here's Carnival, like I was about to say, it's like a little gun shooting thing. I think the animals scroll across the screen, you shoot them. Alright, so here's a good game here by Nintendo, Donkey Kong Jr. Yeah, I can't wait to play some Donkey Kong Jr. And I did also get a copy of Donkey Kong, so both those games, awesome games. Really good Coleco Vision. Really good ports of those games too, I believe. Okay, here's Ladybug. You all know what Ladybug is. It's a really good game. A lot of cool strategies in this game, I believe. Like, you know, you flip the walls around, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I was watching somebody's YouTube page, and they had the actual videos. Here's an awesome game, Pepper 2. They had the actual videos that were out, like the VHS tapes out in the early 80s, that had like a 3.5-minute segment on like how to master one of these games. They tell you all like the little cheats and stuff. It's pretty cool. So here's Pepper 2. This came out this came out the same year Donkey Kong did, early '83. So this was one of the last year games before the crash. This is a really cool game. It's kind of like Quicks, you know, or you go around, you section off the little areas before enemies get there and stuff. Pretty cool game. You know, to keep you moving. It's an awesome game. Venture, and then it's got a snake on the front. Yeah, Venture. This is a great game. You go around, you know, a map. You got other buildings you go into. When you go into those buildings, the rooms expand and they get a closer view. You go in there for little treasures. Now, when you beat the first level, if you beat the first level, you see that you get a couple treasures on this big board of blank spaces. So you think, oh wow, look at all those treasures I can go get. And basically just an adventure game. Go around and find cool stuff. Of course, we got a copy of Smurfs Rescue in Gargamel's Castle. And then last but not least, we got Qbert. So yeah, this is a this is a classic game. Qbert. That's a funny picture on there. And of course, he always cussed. He always said bad things. He always said bad words, as you can see. So yeah, so thanks again, Ross. Thanks, Derek, for this. This is an awesome addition to my collection. I went ahead and threw Derek one of my old Nintendos and some of my doubles just so I can clear some space up in there and get him some of the games he grew up with. And you know, so you know, that's kind of his thanks for this. And to get this cleaned up a little more, I'm gonna get this really nice and just polished. So this thing looks brand new, because I mean, it looks like in good condition. I'm sure people have seen these things in not good condition. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'll probably have some gameplay of this stuff going up once I get that TV cord. And once again, if any of you happen to have multiple ones of those lying around and want to send me one, that'd be awesome. You know, you won't go unrewarded. So, anyways, I will see you guys later. Get ready for that Metroid this week, guys. Peace.